Level podcast. Your Masonic podcast. Join the hosts Billy McIntyre and Sam Earl Sedghi as they delve into the world of Freemasonry.
Welcome, brothers and friends, to another episode of On the Level podcast with Sam and Billy. Brothers, this is going to be a short episode. We just wanted to step on here. This is really the end of our first full year. Yes, we started in May the year before, but this is our first full year. We're not only celebrating that, but we're celebrating 1,000 subscribers, which is incredible. And as we talked about in the last episode, the maestro himself, Sir Sam Earl Sedghi, is going to write a poem. Now, Sam works tirelessly, and every now and then I have to crack the whip on him. And I try not to. I don't want to make it a sweatshop. I mean, I do let him stop and eat once in a while, and visit his family. But I got to keep working. You know, he's got to grind and grind to make these for you. You know, he don't get to celebrate anything. You know, he had to miss Christmas because he kept working on this poem for you. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy it. And Sam, I hope that was good enough. Sam's cried because he's afraid you wouldn't enjoy it. So here's Sam's going to tell you a little bit about the poem.
Right, yeah, so Billy came to me. Hello, everyone. Hello, fans, listeners, brethren, sisters. Billy came to me a couple of weeks ago when we were closing towards a legion of subscribers. And really, we're both kind of like in shock, and we're still in shock with the reactions we've had, we've got over 1,000 listeners now, which is still, to me, it's insane. 1,000 subscribers. And from my understanding, getting subscribers is a very difficult thing. I listen to a lot of big podcasts that keep reminding everyone to subscribe. So it's not an easy process. And the fact that we've only been doing this for 6 months, and when we initially started, I did a bit of research, and I said to Billy, like, hey, Billy, according to research, it's very likely that we're going to get, every episode is going to hit somewhere between 100 to 300 views. And that's actually quite successful for starting out. You've got to really do this for a couple of years and have like hundreds of videos to start getting beyond 100 views to like 1,000 views. And to get like 1,000 subscribers, that may take 3 or 4 years as you're building it, because, you know, there's so much stuff going on even on YouTube to catch people's attentions. There's every day, you know, there's tens of thousands of different content providers trying to get people's attention. So we kind of had set in, after the research I did, of just thinking, okay, we're going to get, you know, a couple of hundred views here and there. Right. And things kind of exploded. You know, subscriptions we hit beyond what we thought. I think we had over 100 subscribers a lot faster than I thought we had. And things started to slowly build. And then over one point, I think it was over episode 7 or 8, you know, suddenly the subscribers started to come. And then we've had a very steady growth of subscribers. It's been nice to see the natural progression. And now we're over 1,000 subscribers. It's insane. And so Billy sent a mission and said, we must do a poem. And I'm kind of famous of writing in the
Sam
local.
Is, you know what? I'm going to throw it out there. You know, Sam, who would have thought that anybody would have wanted to hear two friends talking? You know, me and Sam are great friends. I think the world of Sam. Sam is the most talented guy I know. You know, he has music. You need to check out his music. He has music. You just search his name. They're on Apple iTunes, or, you know, on Google, and he has music. He writes poems. This is a very talented man, and I can't say enough good things about the guy. And I give him crap, but I mean, this guy is so talented, and his research is top notch. And I just, you know, we have a great time. We joke around. We joke around before we start recording. Then we joke around while we're recording, and we just are thrilled to death that you are gracious enough to sit and listen to us do our thing. It just means a lot to us.
Well, what's really funny is I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, and writing poetry was something really important for me, and writing music was really important for me. And I was enthralled with the old battle hymns of history and all sorts of other types of poetry and all that kind of stuff. And being able to join Freemasonry, and then you have then there are elements of Freemasonry where, like, when you're feasting, there is a Tyler's Toast, and that Tyler's Toast poem is just freaking epic, and then there are other rituals where, espouse other parts of, our orders, and I just felt an affinity to our brothers who are in that celestial lodge, who at the times of joy and woe would express themselves in that writing format and be able to express very deep words of meaning and connection. And then and we still use that as ritual today. And so I had that kind of and so the reason why every time I get to do a festival, I get to do the Tyler's Toast, is I have a strong connection to that kind of world and that kind of element, even though it may be a bit ancient and it might be a lot more rare these days. To me, that's up my street, telling, sagas of great battles and all that kind of stuff, and poetry, and, all of that was in my thing. So to be able to do something that I've always loved but was suppressed, whether in my real life jobs that I've had, where I couldn't express that kind of part of, the written prose and that kind of the English language and that kind of thing that I've always loved. Masonry's allowed me to express it through beautiful parts of Masonic ritual, whether it's Blue Lodge ritual or different appending bodies like the York Rite, and they've got some really cool ritual parts that you want to. And I can't even talk about the ritual, but there's one really cool part in the Order of the Temple. There's really some there's some cryptic stuff, and those things hit home to me really close. So to feel a connection of, our forefathers before us emulating that and preserving that, and someone like me, so I was able to then write and express myself where I couldn't have normally in other professional areas of my job, and to do it in Freemasonry, and then do it for my brothers. So I started expressing myself with poetry for my lodge, Frank and Nicole. I did some stuff for the grand line bodies that I was part of, and that was a lot of fun. So anyway,
when all rituals done good, it's special.
Yes.
But what you're talking about, those special parts, and I man, it's so hard for me not to say, but the parts, especially the Templar parts and some of the cryptic council parts, and I know we're both talking about the same ones. If those are done correctly and they're done with feeling, oh my gosh, they bring a tear to your eye. They're so beautifully written.
Oh, they're really good, and they've got so much meaning. So just being able to practice those types of that kind of art in terms of words and making words profound and giving those words meaning was great. And anyhow, what I'm trying to say is, it's been a great honor to be able to write again and to publish articles, and instead of doing it in the fancy gaming element and publishing articles there, and instead of bringing that kind of creative outlet, it's been nice to be bringing it to the fraternity. So I've got this poem which I'm going to read, and it took me a couple of weeks to do this one, and I hope you enjoy it, because it means a lot to me, and it kind of like hopefully gives you a bit of my experiences and your experiences and everyone's experiences around the world who are Freemasons. And for those who are not Freemasons listening in, hopefully it gives you a bit of an idea of how profound and how emblematic Freemasonry is to light, to goodness, to truth, to honor, to duty, to tradition. So without further ado, here we go. In the forges of time, where shadows yield to dawn, the Freemasons rise like the warriors of old. Square and compass, their shields, unyielding and drawn. Against tempests of fate, in mysteries bold. As the new year unfurls its banner of light, they march with the ghosts of Hiram's sacred rite, honoring oaths in the heart of the night, builders of empires, defenders of the right. With honor as armor, forged in virtue's fire, they charge through the veils of deceit and despair. No craven retreat, no faltering desire, for the level demands that all the burdens we share. In the New Year's rebirth, they renewed the vow to stand firm as oaks against the whirlwind's howl, upholding the code that no storm can bow, the warriors of soul in eternity's prow. Duty calls forth like a clarion's cry to labour in lodges where secrets are kept, guiding the lost with the all-seeing eye through trials where lesser men falter and wept. As clocks chime the birth of a cycle anew, they pledge the craft to the tools ever true. In service to brethren, their purpose pursued, unbroken in ranks as the stars oversee. In brotherhood grips, like a chain forged in gold, they link arm to arm against the darkness that creeps. New Year's horizon with promises bold, where warriors unite and the vigilant sleep. Honor, duty, and kin in the eternal fray. Freemasons internal in the light's grand array. Conquering ages, come what may, the temple endures, come the break of day. There you go.
That is incredible.
And I'll put this up in the episodes for you guys to actually read it all. And I haven't given it a title yet. That's how raw this is. I haven't given this a title, but I do like the last two lines because
I do too.
It's about our history. You know, conquering the ages, come what may, the temple endures, come the break of day. Honor, duty, and kin in the eternal fray. Freemasons eternal in the light's grand array. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. And this is my first actual reading of my own poetry, which for 8. So
that was
did you
awesome.
like it? I liked it. I'm glad you liked it. But no, now for those who are master masons, I hope that touched home, and that gave you a lot of memories, and that gave you a lot of memories in your experiences and in your life experiences as a master mason, and remembering that whatever stage we are in rebuilding that second temple of King Solomon, and rebuilding ourselves and our areas to a height of a golden age, and getting back into an era of enlightenment, where we can do not only more for ourselves, but for those around us, our community, the poor, the destitute, the widows, the orphans, for us to be there as a force of good, no matter the jealousies, the skullduggeries, the envy that there might be around the world, all the nonsense that people talk about Freemasons, all the just rubbish that are thrown at us, and people who like to demonize us. The fact that we keep our heads down and keep doing the good work, and being close to our brothers, being close to God, and also doing the good work. I think that's the most important thing, and it's a great privilege to be a Freemason in this age, and be there for people, and do all the great things that you and me have experienced, Billy. The immense charity there is within the brotherhood for those who need charity, and the great bondships, and then I would have never met yourself, Billy, if it wasn't Freemasonry.
Absolutely. And and to you guys, and just think, you are our first 1,000, and you can always tell everybody you are our first 1,000. It doesn't come with anything, but you could tell everybody you were the first 1,000. That's just a reward in itself, right there. You can tell everybody it doesn't get you anything, but a little warm feeling maybe inside. But I would like to say, Godspeed and thank you all. You mean a lot to us, and I hope you stick with us. And I hope when we're here for our 20th year, and we're old and senile, and we're not old friends anymore. We're new friends because we don't remember who we are. That you're still listening to us, and we're still having fun together.
Thank you for listening to On the Level Podcast, your Masonic podcast. When you are ready, duly and truly prepared, you can always knock on the door.